So, next we're four squares turned into two triangles. It would make a pretty bow, wouldn't it? You could put a bow on something like that and stitch it on top of a solid piece of fabric and make a bunch of bows that way. But anyways, that's not what we're doing today. So, you have two triangles. It may not look like a triangle, but it is. It would be if I had cut. It would be a perfect triangle if I had cut and traced each single triangle. But since I freestyled, it's got the extra fabric on there. But anyways, we're going to imagine just the main portion here, where I've got now two triangles. Two rectangles. Excuse me. 4 squares equals 2 rectangles. So at this point, this is where it gets even harder. Now when you flip it over, you're going to flip it this way. And you've got to make sure each and every single one of those creases line up. And the most important place to make sure they line up is, that's correct, where all your points meet. If you look, right now it doesn't look like it lines up. But don't forget that you're going to be sewing about right there. About a 1/4 inch and about a finger's width. So all your corners are going to end up matching and lining up. Especially if you do it right. Which is not easy to do it right. Especially when your fabric, none of your fabric is the same shaped triangle or the same size. But we're going to get it here. And sew it. And that'll be the next video. Oh, well, let me try it this way. Hang on. I'm going to try to keep the video going through this. Try to keep the video going. Does it mean I'll be successful? There is no guarantee. Let me get a pin, stick through this to hold it in its right place here. Now, before I pin it and sew it, I want to make sure that I line those up right. The best way to do that is to fold it this way too, to make sure everything is lining up. And it will, I'm pinned in a little bit, but by the time it all comes out, it'll all be, see, I pinned it inside, but by the time it comes out to here, it will be correct. So I'm good to go ahead and start sewing this. So hang on, let me put the phone down, flip it back over, line up the rest of it with each other. Okay, I think I'm good to go. Let me stick it under the machine. About where I want to sew it at, line it up with my foot. I was hoping I had put my pin over far enough that it wasn't going to be in the way of where I was sewing at. Let's hope that I did, because I really want to be able to run that machine right over it, and I did good enough so that I didn't lose my lineup. Okay, keep going. That piece. Okay, lift it up, close it up, bada cut it off, cut those strings, la-di-da-di, da-da-da-da, and let's hope I did it right. One of them's a little bit off. Probably would have helped if I'd ironed it, but I was trying to do one for the demonstration, and I didn't iron my pieces down first, just to show how important it is to line up all your corners. And this one is a little bit off, but I was so close to perfection on that one. Okay, and then what I will do with each one, we'll have to have a bunch of these. Hang on, let me get a piece of the sample here. Now, we're going to put this on here. As lined up as I possibly can. I'm going to come through and cut off all the extra fabric around the edges. Now I can also save time by not cutting it off, and what I will do is just fold the extra fabric underneath, but I can't do that for this particular quilt. Now another quilt I could, but on this particular quilt that I'm doing, these squares are going to be sewed this way. So where typically you work from the back side of the fabric, as the squares that I connect, I'm going to be connecting them from the front side of the fabric. So basically my good ends are going to be out. I'm doing the reverse because I want it to fray and frizzle on the outside so that it makes some fuzzies. And I'm actually going to do a pillow first. Now, this is where I was talking about wanting to make extra knots on the inside because I didn't know if my knots were going to get cut off or not. And in this particular case, this knot did get cut off. But I'm not going to worry about it because I'll catch it later as I go. Along. That's what we talk about, fixing it as you go. Anyways, now that pinwheel is the correct size. And I love this because now there's another error, and I love being able to show y'all errors that happen from freestyle cutting, because then I can show you how to fix it, which I have never seen anybody ever do that in videos. They always show you what to do, but they never show you what not to do or why not to do it and how to fix it later. So this is great because this will be a first time for you all to see something. So here's an error. This is where it's not lining up as a perfect square. But here's the thing. When we go to sew this, see, on a traditional quilt, this is going to be sewed in about 1/4 of an inch. And you can always do more if it's needed. But when we sew it in by 1/4 of an inch, hang on, put my phone down. Okay, so we're going to sew it by 1/4 of an inch. that's going to be hidden inside the quilt. So same thing here. We're going to sew it in by 1/4 of an inch. And that came undone. And that's what it's kind of going to look like. So anyways, you won't see that error later. It'll be fixed as we go. Saves so much time. Even if with all the errors in it, it just saves so much time. Now, I got another error right here because I didn't do that right to start with, but I can go right back through and do it. Not a big deal. Just run it right back under the machine a little bit further over and take care of it. But that's basically it. That's basically what I need. I need a bunch of these now. I need to iron it out so it's straight. I should have ironed it to start with, but I didn't. And just keep going and get a bunch of them, and then I'll start sewing them in rows. And as I was saying, typically what you do is your good sides face each other. As always, your good sides would face each other. You'd sew right through here, fold it down, put another one, sew it, fold it down. But for this particular quilt, I want these squares where the bad sides are going to be facing each other and the good sides are going to be out, so that when I sew it together right across here, you're going to have this edge is going to be showing like this. Come on, like this on the quilt. You have this edge sticking up like this instead of it being hidden inside the quilt. It'll be sticking up like that where it's visible. And then I'm going to cut along it and just hack at it a little bit. And then when you wash it, it should all fray. And strings should go everywhere, and it's going to fray out, and it's going to be frizzy, and it's going to make a little frizzy edges.